you beautiful ones, and welcome back. Oh, I am excited today to welcome on Yuan, who is an amazing spiritual guide, mentor, teacher, and channel, who is here with us today to share a little bit about her experience in working with nature and the earth in order to expand her consciousness and help others do the same. Yuan has a passion for restoring ancient wisdom and sort of merging it with current technologies to help us raise our frequency and bring about a better, brighter world. Welcome, Yuan!
Hello, Maya. Thank you so much for having me here.
Oh, it is a pleasure. As you all can already hear, Yuan has the most beautiful, precious, sacred energy, and I feel blessed every time we connect. So, for those of you that love to win, which I know is most of you, I'm going to share our giveaways here right at the beginning, and then we're going to talk about nature's consciousness and the joyful journey of working with our earth plane to elevate your frequency. So, you are all blessed today because Yuan is going to be giving away two things. 3 of you out there listening now will win a one-on-one coaching session with Yuan, or a healing session where you can discuss your path and journey and do a little bit of work related to a goal or issue of your choice. To win this session, simply comment below and include the sunflower emoji. We are looking for individuals who might like to benefit from a coaching session within the next week or so. So if you're like, I'm ready, if you hear Yuan talking today and you are like, oh, I must experience a one-on-one interaction with this woman, totally free to you. Just comment below with the sunflower emoji and your name or a way to contact you. In addition to that, Yuan has a very profound specialty in going deep with individuals to support them on your journey. So she's going to be giving away one in-depth session package of 3 sessions. Appearing now on the screen will be Yuan's email address. If you feel that you would most benefit from in-depth work rather than a single session, Yuan invites you to please email her with a brief explanation of what you would like to work on and why. Yuan would be happy to journey with anyone utilizing Earth's magic or work on a variety of other things. So those are our giveaways today. Please comment now. Please comment with the sunflower emoji. Yuan is one of the most beautiful people I've ever met, and if you so happen to be able to connect with her, understand it will be a blessing. Okay, so thank you, Yuan, for your patience with me as I shared about your amazing giveaways today. Now, let's dive into the topic of today's interview, which is about expanding one's consciousness using sort of the ingredients of the earth. So my first question for you, Yuan, is what does it mean to work with nature? Like, what is this? What does it mean to work with nature on one's spiritual path?
Thank you, Maya. That's such a good question. I feel like this is such an intrinsic thing for everyone because we are here living on Earth and we have access to plant consciousness. We have access to the natural landscape, whether it is plants, flowers, water, fire. They each have their individual flavor of consciousness and frequency, and we can attune to them to help us raise our frequency. Oh gosh.
No, I'm getting it. Yes. So we can match our awareness to the awareness of the consciousness of plants, maybe animals, places in nature, in order to experience different states of being. That could be a part of it. Would you say that, many people identify with things like crystals or things like spirit animals? Is this a part of working with nature and our earth plane to support our consciousness or evolutionary journey?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for bringing it up. Crystals are incredible wisdom keepers, which has developed at the bottom of the earth for millions of years, and they are coming out and revealing themselves to work with humanity, to help them with to access different wisdom within themselves, to access different energies. For example, rose quartz is a beautiful earth crystal which helps you attune to that level of self-love, and having that in your presence can help you maintain that frequency, or they can be there to help you whenever you need a bit of love, or when you can't connect to that love within yourself. And you can work with crystals such as citrine to really tap into abundance consciousness, to help you remember that abundance is within us, and when we believe in it and when we know it, that's when it manifests, and it's like an energy. And you can work with crystals such as citrine in many different ways, having it on you, putting it in your house to really invite in abundance, or just as like offerings to the earth as well, if you want to offer gratitude for where you live. And so they have many different uses, and it's all part of working with nature.
Oh, what a beautiful, gorgeous answer. Something you said there really stuck out to me, which was like that the crystals have been here for millions of years. And it kind of hit me like they were here as a witness to the dinosaurs, for example. Do you know what I mean? And I think sometimes people talk about this like in near-death experiences, but like we forget that there's a life force energy flowing through all that resides here on the earth. Many people talk about tree hugging and things like that, but in a very real sense, if you've ever had a very difficult day where you maybe have found yourself dysregulated and you need grounding, there's no doubt whatsoever that by touching a tree or staring at even like a water droplet, like sparkling in the sun, like it can impact your consciousness in quite significant ways. And people talk about like on the other side in their near-death experiences, or like getting out of their body, and when they do, like they see every single blade of grass like illuminated with radiant light and things like that. And so it's like there's this whole, it's interesting because like crystals, they don't talk. They're not going to say, hey, look at me, I'll give you love, or like I'll give you healing. And trees don't talk, but I feel like they're always kind of there as like these supportive allies around us. And possibly the nature itself is one of the greatest blessings or motivations for coming here to Earth. I often hear that in readings, like people will ask, why did my soul choose to incarnate to Earth? And sometimes a part of the reason is the actual Earth. Like the guides will remind the client, like, you wanted to experience this planet. You have a love for this planet, the mountains, the waterfalls, the oceans, the zebras, and you came here. And usually when people hear that, it's like they remember and they're like, oh yeah, that's what makes it worth it. So it's incredible that you discovered all of this, and at like a pretty young age when you first started working with nature and the earth to elevate your consciousness. Like, how did you find your way to this path? Especially you're all the way over there in a pretty major city in the UK. Like, how did you find your way to working with nature and the earth?
If I answer that question, I actually wanted to go back to share quite a little fun fact about grass. Is that when you look at grass and from a microscopic level, they're actually like tiny smiley faces. And so it's like there's literally smiling at this experience of being on Earth. And it reminds me of one of the things that the plants shared with me whenever I'm on a plant dieta. So this is like a practice in which you merge with a plant to learn about being human, or for them to help you elevate your consciousness or perception whenever you're stuck on an issue. And I asked them in exchange to why they are helping humanity, because we are we're constantly in this duality of like negativity and positivity, and like why and what you gain out of this experience guiding me. And they always tell me it's because it's a joy for them to experience my experience in duality, because they're mainly in unity consciousness, and they understand how hard it is for us as humans to be in this constant. And I think that, and like I just want to say to what you said, like it's an absolute joy for us to be here and to be able to experience so many different things with like different elements of water, fire, and all of that. But yes, back to the question. I kind of found my way into spirituality. It's kind of funny because when I look back, I had experience a lot in childhood, and I was looking for a way to kind of fix myself. You know, I did engineering in university. I dropped that at the end, but like I was constantly looking to problem solve. And I was in a state which I got intuition one day that I needed to change my life, or I could never succeed in the way that I wanted, and I could never reach what I wanted. And so I was just looking to fix myself, and I found my way into psychology, into all the stuff that we could logically use to find fulfillment and happiness and love. And I realized that I couldn't find it in those ways, and so I kind of was pushed into this way of like having to, I guess, like look into my feelings and to confront my emotions, and that kind of led me to like doing into spirituality, where in watching videos of like spiritual teachers, I sensed a higher level of love and a perspective which really healed and gave me answers to questions that I couldn't answer from just the mind of, and having to see the greater picture of like why things happen to me, and finding peace and knowing that I'm an external soul and I've lived so many different lives, and this was my choice, and I wanted this because it was fun and it was joyful, and I wanted to grow and expand and become someone that could hold greater love and hold joy even in the midst of difficulty. And so in understanding that, I kind of just went deeper and deeper into the spiritual path, and it was just like there was just this momentum for me that's like guiding me. I think it was my soul, my higher self, my spirit guides really leading the way for me, because I do intrinsically feel like I know that I'm here to help guide people to understand the intrinsic power within them and their own inner divinity and their own inner power, and to find empowerment in that, and to open the perception to the limitless possibilities that's available to them. And yeah,
That's so beautiful. I'm so glad you were led down this path because do you know what? Like if psychology would have worked out for you, just basic psychology, you might have stopped. And then you would have just stopped there and been like, "Okay, here you go." But you've gone so deep and discovered such profound ancient wisdom and developed this whole philosophy and become this amazing teacher and guide because of all of this. So it really is evidence that what is meant to be will be. I do have to say though, like I'm still over here stunned like by the fact that if you look at it under a microscope, grass has smiley faces. Like that is going to be my very first Google. Like as soon as we finish like our interview today. That's amazing. It's like nature winking at us and saying, "Hey, when you're ready and you come to me, I have a gift for you." Mm-hmm.
Can I share another fun fact about water?
Yeah.
So there is like this thing that water holds memory, and it is an access point and a portal to ancient wisdom, in that water is constantly being recycled in the world and it's like not lost or destroyed. It's like constantly being the condensation, that whole natural cycle of water. But when you look at it from a microscope, depending on what you put on top of like water, they actually change shape and their crystalline structure changes. And whether you say good words or bad or negative words to them, their crystalline structure also changes. And when you really give it love, like the crystalline structure becomes more beautiful and more structured compared to when you give it a negative word. And so I thought that was really fun to just share as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's very much a synchronicity because I actually heard a podcast from I believe the world's #1 researcher on that phenomenon last week. And yeah, they can see it in real time. They also see a reordering of water if you send very hateful energies to it. So ever since that, like I started asking the angels, like before I drink water or have a meal, like please infuse this water with the highest, most healing frequencies such that it may uplift the vibrations of my cells, like infusing me with more joy, more love, more healing energies that I can transfer to my clients, transfer to the world. And I haven't done it every night. But on the days like that I've done it or the nights that I've done it, I've noticed the next day a significant change in my state of being. And so I think we forget sometimes, like, oh, I'm sitting down and I'm going to have this potato. It's alive. Like that is a living thing. Our lettuce, that is a living thing. Like the apple, it's alive. And if we interact with it, perhaps it can share something with us or we can share something with it. Maybe it's a two-way street. But I want to bring it back like a little bit to the question, which is like, maybe you could share with us, because I feel like you were called down this path. Do you remember like one of the first times that you worked with something from the natural world where it actually helped you with your healing? And if so, would you be willing to share with us a little bit about that experience of sort of young Yuan seeking her healing? Like, what did you find from nature and how did it impact you?
That's a good question. A couple of things kind of come to mind. So the first is that ever since I remember, there has always been this inner desire for plants to come alive, for mountains to come alive. And I always wanted to be able to speak to them and to converse with them. And I think there was just like an inner unknowing that they're consciousness and that they are wisdom keepers and guides that are holding a higher level of consciousness that have something to share with us. But obviously, as a child and in living in the modern world, I thought I was just in my imagination. But obviously now that I know from the journey that it's true. But in like a more physical, tangible sense, whenever I'm in nature, there's something really peaceful and tranquil about them. They have this like amazing energy of like, especially when the natural environment is like untouched and left to grow in its natural form, it feels very harmonious. And whenever I'm in a part of nature like that, it brings me back to that sense of harmony and love. And whenever I'm in a state of stress and anxiety, I can always rely on going back. And I think I just find myself always wanting to go to nature just to help me realign to myself.
That's so beautiful. So what I hear you saying is, even when you were kind of a young girl, right? To me, again, this is like a destiny or calling, because you may have been even in China at that time, but you sort of like looked at a mountain and you had an awareness that it was a presence, that somehow it had a state of being. To me, that's very unique. Like, to have that awareness. But then you started to have experiences that I think many of us have, maybe like walking through a forest or sitting in the natural world. And whereas a lot of people might have just been like, oh, look, a tree, a rock, a butterfly, you noticed, wait a second, I feel more harmonious here. I am being impacted by the energies. So it's, of course, not always easy to be so energetically sensitive. But I think in this case, your sensitivity really worked out for you. Like, your sensitivity was able to perceive the subtle vibrations of the mountain, of the leaves, of the trees, and you were able to benefit. And I'm so glad that you were. And I'm so glad that you still are. And I'm so glad, when things are rough or stress is high, you almost described, like, it's going to sound like a weird thing to say, but like almost like a secure attachment with nature. It's like, I can always rely on this. Like, I can always rely, no matter my state, if I go to nature, I'll emerge with a little bit more harmony. I think of dogs this way sometimes. It's like, sometimes I do mediumship for a dog on the other side, and sometimes the dog will say, my purpose was to love you always. Like, to the owner, they say different things, but it's like, we forget sometimes here on the earth plane that there exist living things that are sheerly here for our benefit, to put out like positive energies. And I think some of us see that with our dogs. They're just unconditional love and happiness, and no matter what, like, we're having the worst hair day ever and they just come and lick our face, and like, they're so excited to see us always. And I feel like it's like that, sometimes with crystals or with like the trees. It's just a wellspring of enduring harmonious energies and nothing else. And it's like, it's always there and they're always giving if we're willing to come to them. But sort of like angels themselves or guides themselves, it's if we're willing to come to them. And that's a conscious choice. So part of what I wanted to ask you today, Yuan, is how would a person like out there know that they're being called to experience spiritual expansion or elevation of consciousness through the natural world? Like, you kind of described a phenomenon of just like being pulled. Like, what do you think a person might experience that would lead them down this path? Or how might someone know this is something they might benefit from?
Yeah, I feel like it's this, there's like a pull, a natural pull, because I've witnessed this with friends when I'm going out on an outing. We'll walk past certain things and you'll have like this intuitive guide, like full of like, oh, I kind of like it here. or I like this place more, and it's like it's because your energetic vibration matches the energetic vibration. It's like when I go to one of my favorite spots where I'm living, there are 2 willow trees, and different friends will gravitate towards different willow trees, because one is like more chatty and like it's more joyful and loves like the experience, and one is like a wisdom keeper, and I always go to it for guidance and wisdom, and you don't have to be able to distinguish that. But I do find that there are things that you gravitate towards, and whatever you gravitate towards is just whatever's natural for you. And it's like I always trust the wisdom of the guide and the wisdom of the person. And for me, when I feel into it, I just, whatever feels good, I just go to, and I don't need to force anything. If you feel like guided through this conversation to go out in nature, and just allow yourself to just naturally flow wherever to go, and just spend and if you really want to connect, just spend 10 minutes meditating, or just 10 minutes in stillness in a natural environment. And I think slowly they will reveal to you, and slowly you'll become more sensitive to the energies and vibrations, and just go in with the intention to connect and to just open yourself up, or just with the intention to receive, and go up to a tree and just say hi, my name is Yuan, and I would love to connect with you, and I'll be here for the next 10 minutes, and just sit by the tree, put your hands on the tree, and just just allow whatever to flow. And so different people have different ways of perception. Some people feel, some people see, and some people smell. And so whatever your clair is, or whatever your way of connecting is, and if you connect more through the brain and logic, you can just go and research more, and it's all whatever feels right for you.
Beautiful. I do think what you're saying there, a lot of people can experience a physical body sensation, or it's hard to put into words, but like you're saying, you just kind of feel pulled. People even report it to me frequently in calls, where they're feeling pulled even to a specific place in the world. They've never been there, but it's a very real phenomenon, to the point that they know they could not leave this planet until they visited that site or that place. And you're right, when you walk with a group of people, I've been so blessed to be able to go to almost every single national park in the United States, often with friends and family. And I find even within the park, I might feel in my heart, I'm drawn into this waterfall or this river. I'm a life path 7. I'm often drawn to the water. When I think of the places that have called me most, it's the rivers, I think, where you can sort of hear the water kind of, and it's moving through the stones. And I'm often called into the river or on the riverside, and it has a very powerful positive impact on my consciousness. But I have friends that experience nothing at riversides, but on the top of a mountain, they completely come alive. And it makes me think of the environment aspect of human design, where in human design, it reveals what is the environment that may be part of your design. And it's the whole concept, the whole idea that there is an environment for each of us. And going on that journey of discovery, and maybe human design provides a shortcut, but finding ourselves in the midst of the natural world environment that supports us and offers a frequency that balances us is probably one of the greatest blessings of life on earth. Now, I wanted to really ask you about something that is sort of a mystery to me, but I think is a related concept, which is about sacred sites. So we all have nature somewhere nearby, whether it's just a blade of grass or a tree, But there are these particular sites scattered around the earth where many people seem to report an elevation or change in their consciousness. So I was wondering if you could share with us just one example of a sacred site and maybe comment a little bit about what you think is happening, why you think maybe a lot of people are experiencing a change in consciousness at these sites.
Yeah, absolutely. Sacred sites for me are places which I see it as like portals which holds like you said, elevated consciousness, or is connected to many different timelines. I'm hoping not going too much into it, but I'm trying to keep it simple. But it's like it's multi-dimensional in that there's like different. It's like a master of like space-time reality in which it has different timelines, and you can go and whenever. So like you said before, like some people feel drawn to like go to certain places, and it's often because they have like certain codes, or they have like a soul contract with a certain place to return to that place to receive codes that they have left behind in the past life, or like to offer service to the sacred sites. In which, like for me, like I sometimes go to these places and I sing because it's like part of my earth service to activate certain energy spots, or to receive certain gifts and energies that I've left in past lives. But these places have its own unique purpose and anchor point, and it's often like in conjunction on ley lines.
Yuan, could you list for us a short example or a short list of different sacred sites? Like, for example, would the Sphinx in Egypt, would that be considered a sacred site?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So most places in Egypt, like the Temple of Isis, the Great Pyramid of Giza, the Step Pyramid, the Sphinx, even the Nile River. Like you said, the Nile River is like a portal and holds that ancient wisdom and knowledge of like the past civilizations that existed in Egypt, and some of the knowledge of past mystery schools you can also access through Egypt. And we know that a lot of people have like had past lives in Egypt and had spiritual experiences in these mystery schools, and so it's like one of the more popular sites to go back to retrieve like certain past life memories or gifts, or like to cleanse certain things that happened. But we also have places like Peru in the Andean mountains, where it's more connected to the heart consciousness, and you can connect with ancestors that are wisdom keepers there that are helping to anchor in the energies. And you have the mountains, which are also guardians and of the land. And you have places like in South Africa, such as Table Mountain, Lion's Head. And for me, Lion's Head is a place where multiple ley lines like converge, and there you can really access the energy of limitless possibilities, and it feels it's connected to different star systems as well. Yeah, so but when we talk about sacred sites, these are like some of the popular ones, but you can also have ones which are like personal to you, in which you had a past life experience, and when you go back and when you feel called to go back, there's something you feel a pocket of energy or pocket of emotion, and that is something that is just meant for you, and for you that is like very special. Because when I think about sacred sites, I think it's like a place which reminds you that you're sacred, or that reminds you of your own divinity, or leads you back to something more, or like expansion of consciousness.
Yes, and what a blessing for all of us who are able to visit a sacred site, whether physically or energetically. And you know, Yuan, you mentioned something there a little bit when you were talking about sacred song. And here, as we prepare to wrap up today's interview, I wanted to invite you to share some of your sacred song with us. And maybe within the song, maybe you could include a little bit of maybe some inspiration or frequencies from nature or the earth or sacred sites as they inspire you and speak to you through your song. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sound I would love to share.
Okay.
I'm feeling so. The sacred song for me is like it's a way to channel in wherever I feel like the sacred size or whatever energy is in my field at the moment, to like translate a message, but through song, because our bodies are made from, like, I can't remember the correct percentage, like 70 or 80% water, and through sound we change the sacred geometry of water. And so this is like a way to like work with your subconscious and to like feel that energy to anchor into your body. And so I don't know what's going to come through, but I will open up the energies for this, for whatever the sacred sites wants to bring through, with the natural energies.
Yes, and to all of you out there who are listening, this is a great moment to take a deep breath, kind of release it gently, and set the intention to receive whatever frequencies move through you on today from our beautiful allies in nature, the earth, and the sacred sites. So whenever you're ready, Yuan, we invite you to begin.
Oh, yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. Yeah, yes, I do. Yeah, yes, I am. Yes, I yes, I do. 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 Yes, I do.
Oh, Yuan, that was so beautiful. I loved that. And I don't know if you all could hear it out there, but while Yuan was singing, a huge thunderstorm began. And like nature literally opened up here where I am. I don't know if you can hear it now, but there was like this big boom. Maybe if I'm quiet, you can hear the rain falling for a moment. But I will tell you, nature responded to your loving embrace that came through in song. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yuan and I have a lot to discuss together. as a matter of fact, we look forward to joining you for a journey. We have journeys to share with you. We have wisdom on a list of many, many topics. Yuan is building a YouTube channel of her own, which we'll link below. And we've just enjoyed having you here today. If you caught the bug, the Yuan bug, and you enjoyed her beautiful energy and frequency today, we once again invite you to sign up for our package giveaway for a one-on-one call. Simply comment below with the sunflower emoji and your name, and to possibly work more deeply with Yuan one-on-one, you may email her at the email address listed on the screen for a 3-session deep dive experience. Yuan is very interested in supporting anyone who would like to begin their healing, consciousness expanding journey very soon, and she is opening up spaces on her calendar within the next couple of weeks. If you feel very, very called to Yuan, you are more than welcome to apply for both. You can put a comment with the sunflower and send an email as well, explaining why you feel you would benefit from some in-depth work. Yuan, you are a gift and a blessing maximally. Thank you so much for being a guest on the show today. It has been absolutely amazing. I don't know where the time has gone. I am fascinated by this whole concept, and I'm leaving today feeling more grateful for the earth, the plants, the animals, the crystals, the sacred sites than ever before. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, and thank you to everyone who has listened today. Yuan, do you have any closing remarks for our audience?
Yeah, thank you so much, Maya, for having me. Thank you everyone for listening. And I'm just feeling so grateful for this opportunity to give back and to really share the love, the joy, and the energy of the natural world. And I feel them with me, and I feel them just giving everyone here their love, and that to let you know that they're here to support you. They love the human experience, and thank you.
Thank you. And for anyone who wants more of Yuan right away, please check for the link in the comments and in the description below to check out more of her content on her channel. Thank you all so much for joining us today and listening. Many blessings. Go out there and connect with the magic of the earth and nature today. Many blessings and namaste.